Have you ever, really stopped and thought about your favorite t-shirt? I don't mean where you bought it, but where it actually came from, the threads themselves. Well, today, we're going to unravel that whole story and look at the botanical threads that just might be the future of all our clothes.
Seriously, go ahead, take a peek at the tag on your shirt. What's it say? Polyester? Nylon? Cotton? We're about to figure out what those words actually mean, not just for you, but for the entire planet.
All right, let's get right into it. We're starting with what you could call fashion's synthetic secret. You see, the modern clothing industry, especially with fast fashion, has this deep reliance on synthetic fibers, and that comes with a pretty huge environmental price tag that's often totally hidden from view.
And that brings us to the core challenge, the big question, really. How in the world do we shut off our dependence on these synthetic fibers? It sounds like a massive problem, but the answer, well, it might be a lot simpler and way more natural than you think.
So to really get the solution, we've got to understand the materials first. Let's break down the fundamentals, plastic versus plant fibers. We're going to look at the very building blocks of the stuff we wear every single day.
Okay, check this out. You've basically got two totally different paths here. On one side, synthetic fibers. Their source, petroleum. Their building block is a man-made polymer. And their end of life, well, they just stick around forever as microplastics. Then you've got natural fibers. They come from plants. Their building block is something called cellulose. And when they're done, they just biodegrade. They return to the earth. It's two completely different stories.
So what exactly is this hero ingredient, cellulose? It's basically the super strong structural part of a plant's cell walls. Think of it like nature's rebar, holding everything together. That's what makes it so amazing for fabric. It's incredibly strong, it's totally natural, and get this, it's the most abundant organic polymer on the entire planet. It's literally everywhere.
So the theory is cool and all, but how does this actually work, in the real world? For that, let's jump to our next section, from weed to wardrobe. We're going to look at a really cool experiment that's all about turning everyday plants into actual usable textiles.
And this brings us to what's called the split experiment. The whole thing poses this amazing question. Can we take common plants, the kind of stuff we might even call weeds, like stinging nettles and flax, and actually transform them into useful rope and yarn? It's a pretty wild idea.
So, how's it done? This process is this incredible mix of ancient wisdom and just getting your hands dirty. First, you harvest the plants, simple enough. Then comes a step called retting. That's where you soak the stalks in water and let nature do its thing, letting bacteria break down the sticky outer bits. After that, we get to scutching, which is honestly the most satisfying part. You're literally breaking and scraping away the hard, woody core to finally get to those soft, beautiful fibers inside. And then the final step, you spin those fibers together, twisting them into a strong, continuous thread.
And this really just sums it all up so perfectly. From a thorny weed to a strong thread, nature provides the raw materials for a more sustainable closet. It's just an amazing reminder that sometimes the best solutions are right there under our feet, literally hiding in plain sight.
So why does all this matter so much? Why should we even care? Well, that brings us right back to the problem of the microplastic footprint. Because the choice between a plant fiber and a plastic one has these huge, massive consequences for our planet.
Okay, prepare yourself for this number. Every single time you wash just one synthetic garment, like a fleece jacket or yoga pants, it can release over 700,000 microscopic plastic fibers. I'm going to say that again. 700,000. That is an invisible tidal wave of plastic pouring out of our washing machines.
And where do all those tiny plastic bits go? Well, they don't just vanish. They flow straight into our rivers and our oceans. From there, they get eaten by wildlife, from the tiniest little plankton all the way up to big fish. They just keep accumulating up the food chain, a food chain that we are a part of, by the way. And the scariest part, they never, ever biodegrade. They just break into smaller and smaller plastic pieces, forever.
But look, this is not a story about doom and gloom. Not at all. It's a story about solutions and possibilities. So let's talk about a new botanical thread and how we can start weaving a much more sustainable future starting right now.
So let's wrap all this up. If you're going to take away just a few things from our explainer today, here they are. 1. Natural fibers are biodegradable. They go back to the earth and don't create permanent microplastic pollution. 2. Those ancient techniques for making clothes, they hold some incredibly smart solutions for our modern problems. 3.
The plants we often ignore or call weeds can be an amazing, valuable resource. And finally, maybe the most important one, your choices matter. What you decide to wear has a real direct impact on the environment.
So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. As we're all looking for the next big thing in sustainable materials, maybe we don't need some high-tech lab. Maybe we just need to look a little closer at the world that's already around us. I mean, think about it. Could the future of fashion literally be growing in your own backyard?